Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Butters. So have some matches here, and I really wanted to try out Samurott for no better reason than it existed, and it was new with Hydro Cannon, and I thought Remix Cup was a good place to try it out, and I had some moderate success with it, but to be honest, it was to me like somewhat of a fail. It just didn't stand out in any way. There was no point. There was one match where it like yes, it was like yes, this was good, but for the rest of it, it was mostly just kind of there as like a member of the team. So with that, we'll get started. I have a team up here that I ended up using at the end of it. I tried a whole bunch of teams. I tried it in the lead a bunch, and really in the lead, it's just terrible. Honestly, it has so many bad matchups. Fury Cutter as a bug move, it doesn't threaten fighting types. It doesn't threaten fairy types. It doesn't threaten steel types. I don't even know. But it does generate energy quickly. And so in the right matchups, it's great, I guess. But all right, with that, we'll get started. So not all the matches have this team, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so in this first match, this came about after I started with the double steel team, and Registeel just wasn't cutting it. It was too slow, and so I left in G-Fisk and put in Machamp in the back with Samurott in front. All right, so let's see it. All right, so I swap in G-Fisk. They swapped to Drapion. This is actually a good matchup. Drapion is Aqua Tail, but Aqua Tail is a very weak move. And they went for Crunch, which actually means they probably didn't have Aqua Tail. It is very spammy, even with the crunches. It gets to crunch in like a very short amount of time, maybe 5 or 6 turns, or five or six moves. And they shielded the first Earthquake, did not shield the second one, and was able to farm them down. Then Gramble comes back in, and I hopped out because it's a Snarl Gramble, so my expectation was that they were going to go right for close combat, which they did. That would have hurt G-Fist quite a bit. So this is good. I actually aligned kind of well. They brought in Nidoqueen to a water type, so another out of shields. So I just need to outpace them to the next Hydro Cannon, which I will because I have just enough health. It doesn't do quite enough, but I think it does enough. So what do I do here? Bring him a Machamp. Yeah, Machamp's not great, but Shadow Machamp, will surprise you. Do they hit him with an Earth Powers? That would be funny. That would take it out. Boom! Oh, that hurt. But I had a feeling they were going to right back to Gramble. They're out of shields at this point, which they blew at least one of them earlier. Oh, I went for the Earthquake. All right. So Crunch is here. I think I actually counter down that Granbull. Like, it was a Snarl Granbull, which means that the fast attack wasn't going to hurt. But still, like, it seemed fast how fast Machamp countered down that Granbull. Regardless, let's look at the next one. All right. Oh, okay. Samurott into Electivire. Not great. I get right out of there, going to G-Fisk. They go into a counter user at SCAV. Not great also. However, G-Fisk is so tanky in Ultra League that it can actually really hold its own against SCAV, especially if you choose to shield. They choose to just farm energy like a maniac, and they let this go through, which is nuts. So I don't know if they were what's going on here. I don't know if they're trying the new exploit or what. But by letting that through, that gives me an opening to shield and farm. Do I double shield? So I double shield and farm them. So I don't know what. This is kind of awesome. So I'm like Electivire. What the fuck do I do? They have a shield. I think I'm thinking here that they would throw a Thunder Punch. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did. Well, actually, I couldn't shield, so it didn't matter. So I bring him a champ, hoping to get a cross chop off. I do. Okay. Electivire. I get a Home Depot email. Oh, shit. This is where I knew I was completely fucked. I realized that they had ramped up to 2 wild charges and I had no shields. And so I just laughed my ass off after that match because I just got my ass kicked. So this is a decent matchup. Fury Cutter hits for neutral at least against Scrafty because Scrafty is a dark type. And, but still. So I go right for the Megahorn. Pretty sure they shield it. And, I have the Machamp back there, but I still want to... like force the issue with the Megahorn. I'm still trying to make Samurott work, so whatever. Oh, so, they got the nuke. They shield the non-nuke. That was good. But then they kill me before I got to the next move anyhow. So Machamp comes in and Machamp's just going to mess up this Scrafty. Let's see how I do. All right. Typhlosion comes in. Okay, but they've used their shields. I'm sorry, Typhlosion, but Shadow Champ does pack a punch. And then Nidoqueen. So Nidoqueen's not great, but they're out of shields. Again, I've got a G-Fisk and shield advantage. This is just GG's right here because not much they can do. I think I purposely let that Earth Power through just to say, if you could throw the Earth Power, if they threw the Poison Fang first, I could have shielded the Earth Power. I know I have Champ in the back, even though they have Scrafty. It's basically a GG's. Do I get to I think I tried to go for the... and this is the point where I realized, maybe I kind of screwed up. I probably should have brought Champ back sooner. I was kind of trying to go for the Earthquake, but I get to the cross chop fast enough, and we're good to go. All right, so these matches are not chronological, but Butters is happy again. He's winning, and that's all I can ask for. Kingdra, okay, not great. I think the dragon, maybe it doesn't resist me, but I just went right for the frickin' nuke. Fuck it. Boom, that actually was great. So my thought there was get the hell out. And so they brought in Sylveon. You guys stopped attacking for a second. I think I probably thought about top lefting. Because you got to think about, I have a G-Fisk in the back. I think I just get my ass whooped in this one. That's fine. Whatever charge move Sylveon has, it's just not going to do anything to... it's just not going to be significant. So I came in here with Sylveon having decent health. And so my thought here is get as much energy as you can. Umbreon. Umbreon's not great. My Machamp is dead. I do have this guy. So what do? I think I get the Octazooka and I get the debuff. Yep. Of course. RNG hates me, but that's all right. We got this. Boom. Umbreon. So Umbreon's here. I think Umbreon blows all its energy on me here. I'm not entirely sure. But they have 2 fields on this Umbreon. And my only play is to try to get the energy off. I know I can get at least one of these off. My Fury Cutters are doing super effective damage, even though it's very little. It's kind of like trying to mud shot down a G-Fisk. But what's going to happen? They've got foul plays. They've got a shield. I rock slide. Trying to get that shield out of the way. I do get the shield out of the way. Oh my god, now it's a race. What's going to happen? Foul play. Oh, I'm so low. Hit him with the earthquake. Does it take him out? Does it take him out? Oh my god, it doesn't. And I have the mud shot him. I mud shot down an Umbreon. As you guys know, I am anti-Umbreon. So, okay. Oh, Snorlax. So you notice here that I swapped to Scrafty. Scrafty actually really counters Snorlax pretty well because the licks are resisted. So Scrafty is wonderful. So I took out Machamp. The reason is there were a couple matches where I ran into Giratina Origin and a team, with a Fury Cutter, Hydro Cannon, Samurott, and a Machamp just can do nothing to threaten a Giratina Origin. So it was basically get the G-Fisk on the Giratina Origin or die. And so that just wasn't working out. So I was like, well, I do love my Scrafty. Let's throw in Scrafty, see how he does. Here's Scrafty. Scrafty against Gallade is not as great as you'd like it to be. Confusion does still hurt, and not as much obviously, but it's single resisted, and you got to watch out for the Gallade because a close combat will really wreck Scrafty's day. Scrafty will live a close combat depending on where its health is, but it's not ideal. So I had Samurott with a move loaded. Boom. Nice thing about Gallade, it's a little glassy. So Gallade goes down, and they've got a Magnezone in the back. So this looks bad, except that Magnezone is glassy, and Hydro Cannon is a pretty good move. So I don't know what happened here. Maybe they quit. I don't know, I'm missing bubbles. What the hell? I don't know what I was doing. I think they quit. I think they knew at that point. I still had Scrafty in the back, I think. So I think they were hoping to wild charge me or something, get me out of the way. All right, what we got? Oh, so now I switched to a different team where I said, okay, Samurott in the lead is just butt because it doesn't threaten anything. How about Mewtwo? How about put it in the back? I love ABB teams, to be honest. Let's do an ABB team. So you see the team on the left with Crobat. This is actually an ABB team, same ABB team, but instead of Crobat, it's got Mewtwo. So the thing is because Samurott's running Fury Cutter, it does not threaten fighting types at all, and a bunch of other things as well. So my thought was, all right, at least to have a fighting chance against Machamp, I'll put Mewtwo in the lead. Mewtwo was okay. I'm not crazy about kind of slow, tanky leads. I know I say that, but I use Jellicent a lot, so I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm not sold on Armored Mewtwo yet. Anyhow, so I've got this team. It's got Samurott and Poliwrath in the back. I by this point, and I'm not sure even sure in this match we'll see, so I'm still running Ice Punch at this point. At some point I run into an Umbreon, and all I'm thinking to myself is, since basically Poliwrath is never the safe swap, I do use Samurott as the safe swap. Since Poliwrath is never the safe swap, it doesn't really hurt to give Poliwrath double nukes. And so I actually switched out the Ice Punch and gave it Dynamic Punch because basically I run into an Umbreon at some point and I can't take it out, and it pissed me off. And so that's where we come in. All right, so we got a Typhlosion here. Do I get to the move? I get to the Scald. So I'll tell you what, the nice thing about running Dynamic Punch and Scald is that, I'm not sure how this match plays out. I don't even remember this match. Is that if you throw a Scald, they assume you don't have Dynamic Punch. Or if you throw a Dynamic Punch, they often assume you don't have Scald. They're not assuming that you have double nukes. All right, so oh my god, so this Typhlosion just barely gets me here. And, oh yes, I think I mud-shotted this down. So I do end up taking this match. So now this is a closer team. We have ABB. I had Poliwrath in there. Honestly, if I had a Politoed, I would use this. This is a great lead, Muck. And, so this is, I threw a couple confusions to just build some energy and then swap into Poliwrath. So Poliwrath is kind of a good answer here. It does take damage from the... I still had Ice Punch, so that was why it's a good answer. I still take damage from the Dragon Breaths, but Aqua Tail's resisted and Crunch is resisted, so all of Gyarados' charged moves are, not as useful as they might be. I still shielded, because Poliwrath, I think I still wasn't confident in Poliwrath's ability. Now this is my shiny Poliwrath that I'm proud of. It actually has decent PvP IVs, and it was actually like pretty awesome before XLs came out. Now it's not as awesome, but it still has decent, it's like a 7, 14, 15 or something. Anyhow, I love it. All right, so this Muck comes back. I do get to a Scald, which is great. Hits for neutral. They let it through. Shadow Muck hits pretty hard, but it's still a little glassy. So Typhlosion comes in. So I'm like, all right, let's bring in Samurott. So, I mean, it is great. Samurott can get to a Hydro Cannon in 10 turns, which is, oh, my friend messaged me, which is about the same speed as, like, it's a little slightly slower than Swampert getting 2 Hydro Cannons, but it's certainly faster than this Typhlosion's getting to Blast Burn. And besides, I resist Blast Burn. I think it takes 4 Incinerates to get to Solar Beam, but they don't even get there. And then this Muck comes back out, and I think they just give up. What happens? Oh, no, they're going to take me out. And then Mewtwo comes in, and it's just basically GG's, because I think I might have a shield. Oh, I don't, but I have a Psystrike. So, I'm just missing all these bubbles. Does that happen all the time? That might be lag causing that. Anyhow, let's see. Oh, so now it's time for the Crobat set. And so I brought in Crobat, and I do not recommend this team. It seemed awesome at first. It seemed to do okay. So you'll notice how I'm sitting here on this front page for a little bit. I actually thought I was recording on microphone. I was not. So I actually recorded a bunch of sets where I thought I was recording audio, and I didn't. This is one of them, I believe. But the idea is, Crobat is, anti-fighter. You've got 2 water in the back, and it kind of plays out well. So the first match, actually, it was kind of amazing. I put in Crobat, and watch this. This is great. All right, Nidoqueen. I have Air Slash, which hits for neutral. I have the same Poison Fang. I get to Poison Fang slightly slower than the Nidoqueen. And the Nidoqueen just quits. Like, I don't even know what happened. But, yeah, so I was like, man, Crobat must be really OP. They just gave up. It's kind of awesome. Like, if you didn't like they must have had, like, dual fighters in the back or something. I don't know. Anyhow, suck it, Nidoqueen. Crobat for life. Yeah, I mean, last remix, I don't remember Crobat being as popular, but it does seem like a lot more people have brought out Crobat for this round of remix. I haven't been playing a ton of remix. It remix even worse than regular Ultra is just like the XL Cup. All right, let's see what we got. Crobat into SCAV. That's a great lead. SCAV like basically can't even touch Crobat. And then they go to Umbreon, which is great. So now you see I have Dynamic Punch on my Poliwrath. Makes a world of difference. I ran into, and specifically when I was running this, I ran into so many Psychic Umbreons. I was a little annoyed by that. And I don't know why I'm punching so much. I think I was like trying to time my moves, but I was throwing so many mud shots, but like I almost overcharged there. But so I got hit with the Psychic the first time. They actually foul play me, so they actually bait me. I was baited by an Umbreon. I think this was the first time in my life I was ever baited by an Umbreon. But they're running Psychic. You saw it didn't actually do that much damage, thankfully, because Umbreon just doesn't have that great of an attack stat. Umbreon's whole shtick is to just live long enough to throw enough foul plays or last resorts or Psychics to hopefully wear you down. All right, SCAV comes back in. Crobat comes back out. Crobat is just a monster. So they throw a Drill Run. A Drill Run will be resisted, would do not so great damage. acid spray. I've seen a lot of acid spray SCAVs this time around. Who knows what they have? A Mega Horn wouldn't do much because of the flying type. So Crobat is just really going to town here. It's double resists the counters. They bring out Sylveon. Oh, and Sylveon just had no chance against a Crobat. So that's GG. So I'm thinking like, holy shit, Crobat. Crobat is OP. I'm like, I should just like, I should use this thing all the time. Another Nidoqueen. Like, so I'm like 3 good leads in. This Nidoqueen stays in. That's fine. I'm like, I'll take it. I don't like to stay in for too many Poison Fangs because then it starts to add up. I think I threw 2 more Air Slashes so I could align our moves. So I think I take this one and switch because I just don't like being worn down by Nidoqueens. Oh, no, I don't. So I am a poison type here with Crobat, so I did resist those. So that was great. So Greedent comes in, I go right to Samurott. And this is actually ideal. They go to Deoxys. How are they going to know? They have to know. They didn't know. So this is great. If Deoxys shielded that, it's okay. But it certainly helps. Like, I can just go straight Hydro Cannon now and take it out. Shield and take it out, and then I have shield advantage. Or not shield advantage, I have switch advantage. Then they throw a Psycho Boost. When a Deoxys throws a Psycho Boost, even if you don't shield it, they're probably going to throw a second one, and it's going to be weaker, and depending on where it is in the matchup, like, you always kind of wonder, like, what was going through their head. If the first one got through, it would have done decent damage, but I don't think it would have taken me out. But anyhow, I dislike Greedent very much. However, I have a decent Crobat here. Oh, and they have 1 Pokemon left. So all I really wanted to do here, as I'm evil, is I have a healthy Poliwrath, and I just want to make Poliwrath's job even easier. So I go here. I just keep going. I think I'm like wanted to see how many Poison Fangs I can get off. A couple, but now Poliwrath comes in, he's fully healthy, and they're like, okay. So that's like 3 matches in with Crobat. I'm feeling like a god. Like a god. Well, let's roll with it. Let's do this. Let's go, Butters. You're a champion. I don't know what I'm waiting here. I may have been talking. I don't know. But let's hurry on to the next match, Butters. Let's do it. Okay, I actually had to edit out the video there because I was just sitting there on the fighting screen, or on the U1 screen for too long. So, Crobat and Deluja, I don't know what to do here. In retrospect, if you haven't played with the team enough, you don't know how much damage anything is going to do. I take a Sky Attack. Oh, I shield a Sky Attack, which is okay. And in comes Snorlax. So I'm not going to stay in because I definitely want to get Poliwrath away from the Lugia. So I bring in Poliwrath. Also, Poliwrath has, I think my thinking here, I'm going to throw the Scald on the first one. On the second one, I'm going to throw Dynamic Punch. Then the Scald did so much damage that I was like, oh, okay, I guess I don't need to throw Dynamic Punch. They both, I think, do have the same amount of energy, so it doesn't really matter. Home Depot's back. All right, get out of here, Home Depot. Yeah. Really got to put my Do Not Disturb on. So, take out Snorlax. I'm still down a shield. So, Lugia. I can't throw Dynamic Punch. It's double resisted. So, I can throw some Scald. Hopefully, I get an attack drop or something. I do not. And I'm bringing a Crobat in. So, this is where, if I was going to win this match, it was there, and I should have shielded that. I should have shielded that Sky Attack. So in comes Ferrothorn. You can see my indicator changed on the upper right. I just realized that Ferrothorn is like an absolute disaster for this team. It resists Poison Fang. It's neutral. Air Slash is neutral. Shadow Ball's neutral, and depending on what move it has, if it has Mirror Shot, if it has Flash Cannon, it is none too good. And it has 2 shields, and I have a Samurott that can hardly touch it. And I know they still have that Lugia hanging out that is pretty darn healthy. So I'm not in a good spot right now. Butters is shitting right now. I'm like, Ferrothorn. Yeah, Ferrothorn is kind of a core breaker here for this team, huh? If you could get it lined up, and so you see where I am on health, I'm done. So my whole only prayer here was to maybe land the Mega Horn, and they weren't having it. So Lugia didn't even have to do the animation to kill me with the Dragon Tail. So I was dead anyhow. So yeah, so like that was bad. Right, so I'm still thinking I'm liking Crobat. Crobat's pretty good with this team. Uh-oh. Yeah, this team and electric types is basically a top left. I think I also faced a Galvantula in the next set as well. And, I play it out, and I actually, I am able to, get a move off, do some damage to it. I think I double shield here. Yeah, they go for a double wild charge, which is then they get out of there. So then they bring in Porygon, and I'm like, oh, what the shit. Porygon is like the weirdest, but this is a Porygon 2, but it still has Tri-Attack, I believe, and I believe Zap Cannon. Porygon Z has Blizzard, but Porygon has Zap Cannon. So I was like, oh shit, this thing's gonna Zap Cannon me. So I knew I was in trouble. So this is like, at this point, this team's like double electric basically, which is just a complete nightmare. So you see the Butters indicator. I'm in deep trouble. I have no shields. This stupid Luxray is still out there. So I'm like, all right, please don't shield. Please don't shield. They don't shield. I'm like, oh my God, I got this. The Mewtwo comes out. And, there are Pokemon that I might have stood a chance against with my Crobat and my Poliwrath. It was not a Mewtwo. So I do not recommend that team. As you could see, I was kind of screwing around. I wanted to make Samurott work. It did not work to my liking, but I had a lot of fun, and and I did lose a lot of elo, but it is what it is. Anyhow, Samurott I think can be a good Pokemon in certain formats. I don't like it in the lead at all. Do not lead with it. I'd say that I think that's about it. All right, so thanks again for coming. If you stayed, Butters appreciates it. Hit the like button if you like this video, and subscribe.